We are live. What's up, yo? We got Splendid Radio on PharcydeTV. We got OG Ras Kass. You know what I'm saying? Tapping in. Jeremy Scipio.
Yo.
and it's a trip, Ras, because it's like, you know, Jeremy, he's younger. You know what I'm saying? And so Nas is his favorite artist. And so that's like where we can kind of meet in the middle of the road, but everything else is kind of hit and miss. But when I told him I was gonna have you, he kind of perked up a little bit. So I was like, okay.
Oh man. Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks, bro. Yeah. I remember. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I remember I was in high school, man. You know, we was checking out everybody, you know what I'm saying? I was, you know, in the probably the most deaf or whatever, blah, blah, you know what I'm saying? And my boy was like, oh, you gotta check this out. Like, what? Solo Ice, man. Yo, you the king for sure, man. For sure.
Thank you, brother.
Let him know.
Salute. Thank you, man.
Let him know where you from, Jeremy.
Oh, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh shit, Cincinnati. Okay.
Yeah. You got love out there, man.
I do, man. I do. I just shouts out to High Tech, man. I just did a joint with Tech for this new project that I got coming out. So it's only probably the second and third time. You know, it's been a while since we actually worked together. So yeah, and I was out there like maybe a year or two ago. My guy brought me out there. I had a little gig. It's cool, man. I always like Natty. I like Ohio, period.
Yeah, I don't frequent as much. I live in LA, but
right. I like C-Bus, all that shit. Like that shit. Canton. Akron, Canton.
Back in the day, if I would have known you was to be in town, I already know I would have dropped everything.
Oh man. Well shit, you can catch me in LA, man. Fuck it. I'll be in the streets.
Oh yeah.
Nah, okay. So what's the meaning behind Ras Kass?
Oh, Ras Kass is a historical figure. He's a Ethiopian king who fought with Menelik II over a portion of Ethiopia. They ended up amicably splitting it, but he was a real dude. He was John IV. I'm John IV. So that's why I'm not a Rastafarian by belief system. So my whole logic was to just be like it would have been Ras Kass, like King Kass. But I just put a twang on it since we from LA, so I figured we'd pronounce it Ras Kass. So
right.
That's what I did. That niggified the good name.
It's a trip because I get with Ras, and you know, my brain cells only hold so much. His brain cells only hold so much. I don't get fanned out, but I'll be like, nigga, we went to El Camino, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got
Elko.
Yeah, before him and the Pharcyde, Paul Stewart and all that. Like I can remember my cousin Terrence told me to shout you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell her I said what up. Yeah, nah, man. Like, yeah. Well, shit. No, even when I was going to Elko, I probably already knew Paul Stewart. I probably knew him, but I was going to school because I wanted to. Honestly, I wanted to get information. I was trying to get books for the song I wanted to write. Honestly. I wanted to write Into the Threat, so I would go. I was like, I would kind of take all the history and like the linguistics and all that, cultural anthropology classes. So when we met, I was like fucking around doing that, and then I had downtime because I was already pursuing the music. So I figured I shouldn't be a complete fuck up and just be at the crib all the time. So I was at Elko trying to meet some girls. That didn't work out.
Hey, that's all I was. You know, I spent 3 years in junior college. You know what I'm saying? Didn't pass a class.
I was acing all the history. I remember there was a speaking class that I didn't think I was gonna get nothing out of it, but it really did help. It was like a broadcasting class or something like that. And that shit was dope. Failed Black history, failed music.
What?
Awesome.
How you spell Black History?
Hey man, I thought I should just get a C for being there, but you know, it was too many black people in there, man. I was having too much fun. You know, I was getting clowning and shit. I did not give an effort. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, Miss Lady Teacher. That was a black woman. I'm sure I could have gave much more of an effort in that class.
I was working at the Galleria, so it was close to the Galleria. So I was like, hey, man, you got cooler girls on this side of town, you know?
Right.
So yeah, but it was crazy because it was a unique little clique we had at Elko though. That was kind of crazy. And then you know what? Really before Elko, the first time that I saw you, Terrence had a party, and I want to say it was you, Bird, and a couple of other cats.
Probably.
And were you guys weren't the hip hop hippies? Where you were?
No, that was our homies. No, we were Clubhouse.
Clubhouse.
Some shit we used to do, some stupid shit.
Clubhouse. And I was like, okay, I really couldn't dance, but I was in Carson. I was like, oh man, these Carson fools, they ain't gonna be coming with nothing or whatever. And Ras Kass and them came, and next thing I know, Flips was getting done.
Man.
What grade was this?
Shit, I could dance. I was housing, as we called it, ever since probably from 10th grade. From 10th grade on. So it could have been any of those, 10th, 11th, 12th. Yeah. And actually before that, because I was going out, rest in peace, Kalani. Kalani was taking, I was probably in the ninth grade. Ninth grade, 8th or 9th when I was going out. Kalani would pick me, Dags, all of us up, and we was going out to like 21 clubs, like housing and dancing, and my mom was tripping. But I had made a deal that if I got up, you know, and went to school, then she'd let me do it. So yeah, man. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, I was on some. And by 11th, honestly, I wanted to rhyme, so I was trying to cut back on the dancing shit. Because at that point, it was like niggas.
You couldn't do both?
LA was kind of on some, like you couldn't be, they wouldn't let you do both. It was kind of like.
You couldn't be hard and dance.
Yeah, man. Kind of, sort of, like, it was like that split where wasn't even quite gangster rap shit. It was just like, oh, you gotta be like more hippie guy or whatever. So it was like a weird, like niggas didn't take your rapping seriously if you danced initially. But then certain niggas cut through that, you know, Pharcyde, at Band Clan, which were going to be Black Eyed Peas. But even then, my shit was a little more street oriented, I think, and where I was trying to go, and my gang banging friends was like, can't be dancing. So I was trying to cut the dancing.
You were more street oriented because Ras, it was crazy because Ras, he was from Carson, and they had some cool. But see, Carson was close to Compton, so he had that little twang on it. You know what I'm saying? That little extra. It was.
It's funny.
It was. But you know, it was crazy because when the group got signed and they started working with Paul, and then I saw your connection with Paul, it's like the circles of rappers that you ran in were those rappers that was like borderline gangster, like you. But it was crazy to me because it was like I would see you with the licks, I see you around Ice-T, I see you around. You started as a dancer, but you ended up around like these real solid MCs, man, and not necessarily MCs that were just on some, you know, some cool, you know, some,
right,
some cool type of stuff. So tell me this, when you started rapping, how did the just straight lyrical thing take off? Because when I talk to people about you and I'll bring you up in the conversation, I'll say Ras Kass, they're like, oh man, he's the greatest lyricist and woo, woo, woo. And I like, you were the homeboy. And I'm just like, but it's like dudes that are very serious with the pen, they respect you, man.
Yeah, it's a blessing, man. I'm grateful to him. I mean, you know, KRS-One was you know, everybody's my influence. Everybody before me. Obviously the Biggies and the Pacs and the Nas's and the Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and Public Enemy and Slick. I mean, I would just sound stupid because I'd have to name every single, damn near everybody before me. You know, back then there was a lot of quality control, so mostly everything that came out was pretty dope. So I was just soaking all that shit up like a chamois. But what spoke to me was I like battle raps. I like when niggas say some shit, and I happen to have a mother with a big vocabulary and a pops with a big vocabulary. So that was the shit that I was fucking with back then. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you. My bad. But so yeah, bars, man. I was just a thing. I like the punchlines, you know, and I like the cipher, like, you know, 2 men walk in, 1 man walk out, and like that's how I cut my teeth. Like I would battle. I would try to battle. I didn't even really win because I was going over, like I felt, I could be wrong, but I've always felt like niggas didn't get it. Like I remember I grew up in Watts, and I lived in Carson my whole life, but I grew up in Watts. My parents worked, so they had to, you know, they had to drop us off at my grandmother's house in Watts, and then go to school in downtown LA. I mean, go to work in downtown LA, and I went to school in Watts. I went to school in Watts until middle of the 7th grade, so I'm more Watts raised.
Okay.
But I lived in Carson. But I didn't really hang. I didn't know anybody really like that except for like my neighbors around me. So I socialized in Watts. So I just remember my friends always saying, like, they called me Baby John, and he was always like, "Baby John, why you always use them big words?" But I didn't know I used big words. I just talk how I talk. So when that translated into rhyming, again, my homies, these my same friends that I kicked it with and fought niggas with, everything. Like by the time I'm in like 6th, 7th grade, and then kind of clicking in with my new friends in Carson. Once I started going to school, going to Carnegie, they still was like, "You be using them big words." So I just never really fit in lyrically with my homies, but I guess socialization wise, being a little knucklehead and dumb, I probably assimilated better with King T and Ice-T and the licks and the knucklehead part of LA rap. So so yeah, man, you know, that it just kind of played out how it played out.
I'm gonna tell you about an interesting night. Florentine Gardens. I remember I was downstairs in the VIP room, and I was smoking a blunt, and I passed it to Exhibit, and Exhibit kind of like held on to it, and he kind of like he fanned me. And I was like, dude, this is Schmooche. Like, man, I remember you when you was living off of Venice, you know what I'm saying? Your apartment before it all. I'm like, dude, this is Schmooche, man. And I remember, you know, that was a moment, and you happened to be there that night.
Uh-huh.
And the twist is, I saw something incredible. I don't know if you guys performed, but I know that night was the first night that I knew about the Golden State Warriors. And I remember it was like a Dre showcase. I remember it was a Dre showcase.
Wow.
And Saphir was out here, and I remember Saphir had a little the little bubble Lexuses, the little baby bubble Lexus, and at that time, he might as well have a Bentley. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was like, "Yeah, man, we working with Dre, man. We out here, you know what I'm saying? We working." And the twist is, I really wish somebody could document that time and space, like between 90 and 94, like LA, because it was like the rapping that was going on and everything that was boiling. Like, we always get caught up into the New York story, you know what I'm saying? And we see the trains, we see the guys going to the studios, the Biggie, all that. But there was so much going on in LA. Oh,
we had a great culture. I feel like the hip hop culture in LA was there were no sides initially that I can remember because, like I said, I was going to Water in the Bush and Funk Jungle. These are 21 clubs, 21-year-old clubs, and to be perfectly honest, when I started school early and got skipped. So when I was in 7th grade, I really should have been in the 5th grade. When I was in 7th grade, when I was in when I was 9th, should have been in 7th. Plus I was short. So that's why I was shut up a lot anyway. But I know, Kalani, if it wasn't for the music stuff, I wouldn't have got out and I wouldn't have been in those spots and absorbing all this culture that, you know what I'm saying? Like I guess was Grandmaster Cass and all them. They were DJing and stuff. And Everlast, that's like all them niggas is young niggas and probably like 19 and 20 and 21 and popping or about to pop. Def Jeff and all that shit like is out, and that's probably 88 and 80, you know what I mean? Whatever. So I was just like a stupid kid trying to, like, me and Dags, like like we trying to sneak in the club. Like,
what was the first performance you seen, or the first like big artist you seen perform?
I'm not gonna lie, I was a blur, bro. I was drunk. I was drinking a whole bunch of, it was just a lot of 40s, but it was just dope shit. It was like a culture. It was like early, I wasn't around for like the shit that, Dre and them be talking about and Ice Cube and them, because that's like Uncle Jam's Army and all this other stuff. That's like a different era. But when it became really like hip hop, I was kind of around for that. I wasn't a factor, but I was like in there looking, and housing and dancing and with a 40, like piecing up on a 40 with my friends, and sometimes just having to stay outside or sneaking in, or I had my homeboys, Eric Davis, I had his ID from my neighborhood, dark skin, whatever, dark skin, nigga, and he gave me his ID. And sometimes, and I was too stupid to even remember the information and shit. So sometimes dude would just look like, what's your address? I'm like, hell no, I'm drunk. He's like, get out of here, kid. Like, whatever. Like, I was hit or miss every week, bro.
How old were you?
I don't know, probably like 14, 15, bro.
14,
like,
faded.
Yeah, faded with the 40, man, trying to get in the funk jungle or the dope clubs, and Kalani is already in there, and and it might be me and Dag stuck, or whatever, and we sneak in or something, like it was crazy, that era. But I just feel like there wasn't sides created yet. It was all kind of together. I kind of remember seeing at that point, everybody. I saw the East Coast dudes, the gangster dudes. It was like some punk rock shit. It was more like Frisco to me. That's what I kind of vaguely remember it looking like a San Francisco vibe, like a club where you see a little bit of everything. Some punk rock shit, some hip hop shit. There was no size, gang banging niggas, cholos. It was all that shit. And then I think things kind of separated into the early 90s. And even before that, we had bopper clubs in LA. So we literally had
clubs,
like a teeny bopper, like bopper.
Oh, okay.
So we had under, like, I think if you were 19, you couldn't get in. It was like bopper clubs. 18, 17, 16, 14, down to like 14, 15, your mama would drop you off, and it was like from 7 to 11 and shit. And we still was drunk in them shits. We were running around. They used to have all through Crenshaw, like Adams. There was some in Hollywood. Hollywood Live used to be like that certain nights for boppers, man. So we had an outlet, and this music was forming at the same time. That the tag banging niggas was tag banging niggas that left their hoods to start tagging, clicking up with other niggas from. So tagging niggas was gangbangers first.
Yeah,
spray painting. So okay, gangbangers that some of us fell in love with the dancing, some of us fell in love with the rapping, some of us fell in love with the spray paint.
I never looked at like that.
Hip hop.
Yeah, man. All of it was the culture, but we all started evolving, and then we met other people. And that's how niggas started knowing each other from different neighborhoods. So
for me,
was made. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say for me, it's kind of funny because now I get to laugh at it because when I was like in, like junior high, high school, we kind of, it's so weird. We kind of made up what you guys went through. Cause you know, what you were saying, like all these old school guys were to you, that's what your generation was to me and my people, right? And y'all was like old, but y'all was like hard. And then we kind of like everything you're telling me is like we imagine it, but I'm thinking like, how did we know this? It's just like we just made it up. We just took little pieces of rhymes here and there. And if you made a song with somebody, like I associate you with Exhibit Heavy. I'd be like, you know what I mean? Like I kind of made like it's like a fantasy world. It'd be like, oh yeah, they probably kick it here, or they probably smoke here, they probably talk about this, you know what I mean? Like, right. So it's just kind of interesting, like to even hear like your version of it, you know what I'm saying? And of course, man, I get some stuff from Schmooche, you know what I mean? He be dropping some game on me.
Yeah, man. It was an ill time period, like by 92, 93 is. I was already rhyming. I had a situation, and, with Paul Stewart, and then the famous story is that there was a seminar in San Francisco, and I went outside to go get a burger, and my friends were outside from that danced, and I didn't know they were transitioning to rhyming too, and that was Imani and Romai, and it's like we want to get a deal. And like you couldn't get in the hotel because you needed a pass. And I was like, well, it's a lot of dudes in my room that's executive. So I walked them in and they went upstairs and did Your Mama a cappella, jumping all over the fucking couch and had everybody dying. I didn't even know they rhymed. Like, everybody was off doing their own, stuff. We were making that transition. So yeah, that's probably like 92, 90, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
How did you link with the Scheme Team or become a part of the Scheme Team?
Well, that's because of Kalani, rest in peace. So Kalani's from Carson, and we was, Kalani introduced me. I probably saw me at some house party and was like, "You dope." So then Kalani.
Real quick, Raz. Real quick, Raz. Man, Kalani, Jeremy, you got like, man, you can't even encompass him within the name, dude. Kalani. No, but Pete though, he was cool with people in Hawaii. He's the dude that would go like wherever he went, he was part of wherever he went. You know what I'm saying? Like Japan, you know what I'm saying? Just like wherever, Kalani was just that dude, and he was like, I knew Kalani from Carson, but it was a trip. How many other places he was connected with? Like he was
connected everywhere, man.
Like
everybody knew that dude.
And dude, he was
gang members, like he was like loved in Inglewood. Everybody looked like Kalani was that nigga, man. He was an ill dancer, Charles Shivers, man. And so Charles, like, Kalani took a shining to me, and rest in peace. Like me and me, Dion, D-Eyes, and Diz, not Dismos, but yeah, Dismos too, but Diz and it was already really rhyming. So me and Dags on some dancing shit and housing shit. And so he always had us with him. And from there, whatchamacallit came out, Divine Salar came out, Saying Nothing. I saw the video, I was like, yo, that's dope. And then Kalani and then was in a video. I was like, oh shit. And then he pulled, we just became like, our group was called Dynamite Soul. So basically we became the underlings, like like we was junior varsity to Scheme Team's varsity, of the dancers. And so we was, the younger little, clique of them niggas, but they, they was wilding and, it really invented a lot of the fashion, the spray painting jackets and all that shit. That was Divine Styler and Scheme Team. It's literally certain dance moves the niggas invented. They went worldwide with it. And then, and ironically, Kalani's probably the first person that heard, outside of like immediate homies, that heard my demo. And it was like, and he was like, you dope. and probably the first person to start calling me Ras Kass, because I had named myself and niggas kept calling me Raisin, which had been my nickname since about 7th, 8th grade.
Wait, where'd that come from?
I'm Creole. I got a mole on my forehead, like my fucking mom and my grandmother. So one time in 7th grade, niggas bagging, stupid jokes stuck forever. I didn't, like I never heard that before, so that became the name. Most nicknames niggas don't like, you know that, right? Like right. Nobody, Scarface did not want to be called Scarface. He had a scar on his face. The real Scar. I mean, well, not Brad Jordan because he's the real Scarface to me too. But yeah, so it was a stupid bag that fucking took on, and so I was just like, whatever, I'll be raising, whatever. And then, well, eventually I wanted to be Ras, so everybody thought the Ras was from the raisin, which it wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I.
It just so happened to be that way. And then the other people thought, because my name is John Richard Austin, so they thought it was Richard with the Aus with the RAS. I'm like, no, bro. It was meant to be, I guess. The raisin had to be there for the Ras Kass for all of, the transition. But yeah, man, it was a very interesting journey from me getting my opportunity. Through Kalani, he just opened a world. Like I wouldn't have been able. I was lived in Carson. I couldn't drive. And him taking me out to them clubs and introducing me to that to the culture and the real lifestyle that early was crazy, man. Super dope. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world, man. He was a great dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, may he rest in peace. Crazy ass. And he'll fuck niggas up. He wasn't just a dancer, bro. Nigga, Kalani.
You always need one of those. You always need one of those.
Well, he raised us like that. We was the pit bull. So after this nigga be battling somebody and kick the nigga in the stomach and it's fire on him. And then we was little niggas with 40 bottles and then we was supposed to expect it to go and run into the fight, man. It was just, so that's probably why my rap sound the way he said. Because Kalani was crazy. Yo, man, rest in peace. That nigga was an idiot, bro.
Where were you the first time you heard Run DMC?
I honestly, man, like when I was growing up, it wasn't affecting me like that. Like the music was white noise to the rest of the shit in the hood. To be perfectly honest, it's a little gnat in here. I'm sorry, and it's really irritating me. So I mean, I heard Run DMC, but I didn't register that shit. Like I heard all of the stuff before, but it wasn't really resonating because I was probably because my mother listens to classical. My dad was a Marine in the LAPD. He didn't listen to no music, so I don't come from no musical family like that at all. I didn't grow up with them playing, Marvin Gaye and shit like that. I don't have that cultural background. My mother came here from Louisiana when she was like 17, and then she met my asshole dad, and he didn't like music, and she a Catholic girl. You know what I mean? So whatever they was on, that shit was over with by the time I came into the picture. They was not listening to no music. She tried either, every once in a while, the pop black shit that was current. So Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey when they still thought she was white. Dance with somebody. I didn't want to hear that shit. So it wasn't really resonating with me. And then, yeah. And then, then when I'm in the streets, because I didn't have no brothers in LA in Watts, I'm having more fun. I don't care about what the fuck is playing. I just want to throw the rocks and be a boy. And the homies is jumping dogs over the gates and shit and flipping off the porch and off the roof sometimes, hitting fucking perfect pikes and shit. I was on that. That was so all the music was playing, but I didn't really, it hit me later, like when I paid attention to the music, and that's probably like a KRS-One record or something. Okay. And then I had to kind of listen backwards, like, oh shit, this shit is crazy. And really like Rakim, like, oh shit, like this shit crazy. And but I was late. Like I was late to the music because I was
That's crazy.
I was into the lifestyle as opposed to really the music.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy because but in the same way, I didn't watch Wild Style until like mid 90s after I had met Whipper Whip. Whipper Whip came out here, and I met him and Yutaka, and we did a couple clubs together. And so he was Zulu Nation, and they're like, oh, it's this guy Whipper Whip, and everybody's making a deal about him. But I'm just seeing him as a dude, dude out here from New York trying to, come up on some LA stuff. He's in Hollywood, living in Hollywood, living the life. And then I saw not Beach Street. I saw Wild Style, but the trip is, he had gained a little weight. He was skinnier. I mean, but I'm bigger now too. So, but he's skinnier. And when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, I get it. I was like, I get it. But nah, man, I'm one to believe you come into your own when you're supposed to come into your own.
Right.
And if you would have tried to do it then, we probably wouldn't have the Ras Kass that we got right now.
Yeah, man. For me, it was definitely it was organic. It was organic. I can be honest with you, and my even paying attention to the music was probably because of it was a homeboy named Dante, which is my AKA when I meet. Like that used to be my AKA when I used to meet bitches. I'd be like, yeah, my name's Dante. But Dante was a nigga from our neighborhood in Watts. He banged, and the nigga always had the radio, and that's when niggas still had block tattoos. So he got the nigga was always spinning, niggas yoked up, and the bitches loved him in the neighborhood. So I wanted to be that nigga. When I'm 8, that nigga was probably like 13, 14, and the bitches was on. Like, I want to be like that. So I was just trying to emulate the cool factor. I didn't even hear the music that he was playing. And then I got a little older and the music kicked in. And I was like, yo, this shit is everything, And it's probably a KRS-One record that probably fucked me up initially. And then from there, just, I went forward, and I definitely, I went backwards to reinvestigate what I kind of had heard in my peripheral that I didn't pay attention to, and fell in love with all of it. LL Cool J, nigga, I'm bad, nigga. I'm like, this nigga bad, bro. You get the part you get, like, because I was honestly, even on the dancing part, I fell in love with the music around the same time. I really couldn't dance good, but I wanted to dance, and I was gymnastic.
Flip, man. That was the show.
Well, I was gymnastic. I wasn't like busting the best moves ever.
Yeah, that was the signature Ras Kass move was to run up the wall and bust the flip, man.
I had a couple. I had a couple.
You still do it?
It's deadly. Oh man, I wish I was. My body's out of shape. Fat boy, gotta get back right.
You give that.
What? Did y'all go to the same junior high school?
Who?
Y'all two?
No. My cousin lived in Carson, and then I met him I didn't meet him, but my first interaction with him was kind of like at a house party my cousin had. And then me and Imani came, and we snuck onto Banning's campus for a high school.
Yeah.
We snuck on for a high school dance, and then I saw him dancing at the high school. Then just by coincidence, we ended up in junior college together.
Right.
And then him having the Pharcyde's first, one of the first, the first manager, Paul. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Correct. That dude, I was supposed to get that record deal. Yeah. No, for real. I mean, they'll tell you that. That was my deal. But I fucked up and caught my case and all that shit. So thank God everything happens how it's supposed to happen. That Paul was managing me, and that was the deal that was offered to me. And then I brought them in Frisco. They crushed it. I had already caught a case. I was going off. And I remember like hearing the first demos of like Your Mama. Like it was like maybe 3 or 4 songs. I was like, yo, this shit is dope. Because Paul started working with them too, which was great. And then I went off to jail. When I came back out, they was on like shooting a video for like Running Away or some shit. Like it was the second album because I was gone for like a year.
I couch surfed at Paul's house for a little bit, and you know, man, personality wise, we knocked heads. We had our little ins and outs, but I can't take this away. So Jeremy, I'm gonna paint Paul Stewart's house to you. The picture. It was a back house in Hollywood. The front house had some transvestites living in the front house. About a 15-second walk away, Paul Mooney had a shake shop, a sandwich and a shake shop on the corner. Big Boy was so Paul was the dude who was hooking up with like the I don't know if he invented it, but he was the dude who hooked up with like Quincy Jones and all them. So when they would do like the Fresh Prince tapings of it, they'd have DJs there.
Right.
Because at first they were doing comedians to kind of keep the live audience entertained and all that kind of stuff. And then Paul started subbing it out. So you'd have Big Boy, Ollie Wide, anybody who could kind of really DJ. I wasn't a real DJ back then. I DJ'd, but I got a pass by being the Pharcyde's homie. But Paul had a hand in Cypress Hill. He did promotions for just like all these records. And he was the white guy that was the record companies weren't scared of it, man. He could walk up in there. And at that time, it was crazy because if you had talent, it was deals flying left and right, man. It's almost like when the housing boom happened and everybody was getting all those crazy loans and then it just blew up. The record industry, like, dude, if you knew people, you could get a deal, dude. It was like, man, niggas was getting deals. Deals was going down.
Yeah, that was the big the boom of the West. Niggas was getting signed. Yeah, for real.
And the twist is, you have a certain percentage of it that were gimmicks, but then you'd also have a certain percentage of dudes that were real dope. But the cool thing about it, it was a place for everybody at that time. Like whether you had a gimmick, whether you was dope, the record companies were working it where they worked this gimmick thing for the people who were, you know, kind of corny or whatever. And then they would slowly start to turn the tide, like with the true talent. Like I could remember when Steve Rifkin had Loud, Peace Out, Peace Up, Bigga B, you know what I'm saying? And Bigga B, he was I remember because I DJ'd a couple times and I invested in a couple of unities. And I can remember when he first started road managing Wu-Tang, and he was like, yo, man, you know, I got these dudes, man, they gonna be the woo, woo, woo. And like, but it was before nobody had really heard the music, though. I'm talking like young LA, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, you know, what is it? But the record industry had everybody working. So like you had people like Mona Lisa was working over at Loud. You know what I'm saying? You had like for our peer group, the whole Hollywood situation was like very small. And if you were doing it, those who were really doing it was like, you know, you were in the mix of something. But the Wu-Tang show that I remember, Bill did a unity, all 9 Wu-Tang members rapping on stools at a bowling alley. I want to say it was a bowling alley. And it blew my mind because they didn't even speak over each other. It was the not jocking them because they're Wu-Tang. I had never seen nothing like that in my life, man. I had never. I could say that I saw something. And dude, it wasn't the hype of Wu-Tang though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they were promoting Wu-Tang, but it wasn't the hype of Wu-Tang that made them dope. It was 9 MCs rapping because at the time in LA, you had ciphers, battles, and then it was like people were almost scared. If you weren't performing, they were almost scared to give fools mics because everybody started rapping over each other, just a bunch of voices, chaos, just everything going crazy. And you got these cats from New York that come to LA and they busted out on stools. They busted out on stools.
I had to be there. I was just probably drunk. Yeah, I mean, I was at every unity. I was pretty much at every unity. That was the outlet. By then, you know, we were trying to be MCs seriously, like professionally. So yeah, definitely that. And that was my second go round. Like I had to come out of jail and then kind of pick up the pieces from there. And obviously, like Pharcyde was out and Cypress was out. Like by then it was popping. Like niggas was getting out here making noise and selling records and crushing. And then and Unity was the outlet to kind of to see. Well, not kind of. It was. Niggas wasn't getting. I don't care who you were. So like, rappers weren't getting like morning radio play. That wasn't a thing at that point. So, it was Mike Nardone who had a radio show. They closed him off, and then that's when Sway and Tech came. So it was the Wake Up Show. But niggas wasn't getting on the radio until whatever. I think Wake Up Show was like Friday from midnight to 2 or some shit.
A guy like me was way too tired, and I loved hip hop, but I was way too tired to action it out.
So the real talk of it is I don't give a fuck who you were, the Biggies, the Nas. That was your slot. You were gonna go or get on the Wake Up Show, and you probably was doing Unity. There was no other show for you, not in LA. Mm-hmm. Like that just was what was popping. I'm sure NWA could have done a show or so and so, but as far as some hip hop shit, those were our outlets. I'm always grateful to Bigger B in Orlando for Unity, and because that's where everybody had to come to. Every artist from the East Coast, every hip hop artist, period, and they weren't so close-minded. They didn't give like LA artists an opportunity because a lot of times in LA, I felt like we like out of towners a lot more than homegrown. We don't really support our own, and so it was nice to have that have that home. We had a home team that got supported, and man, I just I remember seeing the Wu-Tang and Pun and Mobb Deep and OC, like they Fugees, all like that nigga one spot. Then the record came out and the record blew up or didn't blow up, and then you might get some afternoon play. You still wasn't getting no morning. You was not on no morning show talking, nigga. Whoever you was, you had to be LL Cool J or something, nigga, whatever. But it was an interesting time, man. Like that whole 90 to 95, because Wu-Tang came out 93, man. And they really, I mean, to my opinion was. They didn't even have a lot of hype here. I know Bill, Big and B believed in them, but I feel like their first show, niggas was just like, who is these niggas? Honestly, like, because nobody knew none of the songs. Man. Yeah, nobody. Like, I remember niggas was talking shit, like, because I remember we saw the cover and niggas like, who these like niggas is no face, like niggas was like talking shit. You know what I'm saying? I kind of remember that. I can't remember niggas kind of talking shit, but then that fucking Wu-Tang Clan, boom, and niggas like, oh shit, that shit go big. And then METHOD, man, them niggas went crazy. But I just kind of remember, because back then they would pass out promotional shit. It'd be like a promotional tape, you know what I'm saying, or a flyer, and niggas was kind of hating, like not even hating, just like. For real, when you even think about the dichotomy of it, like a New York nigga, but what, they karate, but they Muslim, you know what I mean? I remember LA niggas' brains like getting froze, like, how does this work? I don't get it, can't compute. But yeah, man.
I'll tell you when it had my mind twisted. Okay, so LA was just so small in the clubs, you just see everybody who was doing it. Like everybody, Everlast was dang, he wasn't Everlast back then when he was in the Rhyme Syndicate. What's his name? Or was he Everlast? No, he probably was Everlast.
He had a name before that, but I can't remember what it was.
You see guys like Everlast, you see Ice-T, like it wasn't difficult for you to see these dudes that were like mega stars in that. And I can remember like Ice-T was like a god, Everlast was like a god. If you had a Rhyme Syndicate jacket, you might as well had a Mayweather Team Money team, Money team hat or Team Money team jacket at the time. But the one that I remember, I didn't get it personally. When the Licks had hooked up with Pharrell and they did that song, I just didn't understand who. What was Pharrell and them?
The Neptunes.
I didn't understand really who the Neptunes were at the time, and it's crazy because it's like it just seemed like they blew up after the Licks, dude.
You know how they won? I mean, the Licks were in early, but what people didn't know was they had Nori. So what? And when that record blew, and he already had Khalees on the, she's the one singing on that. What?
Yeah, that's hard.
So them niggas, they had already crushed on making Nori platinum, and then they would go on to do the ODB, like right around then. And then they came out with the Khalees and it was out of here. But yeah, they had popped with the Nori shit with that weird sound. And apparently he did shit. Apparently Pharrell had to put in a lot of work before that, but that's when I didn't realize that I knew the Neptunes until probably a year after Nori came, after the Nori album, the what shit. Yeah. And then I heard the name and I had to backtrack and look at CDs like, oh shit. Or not CDs, vinyl, and like, same niggas. That's why the drums sound like that, them punchy ass drums and shit, and a little keyboard, little funny sound. But yeah, that was the same time when they did ODB Licks. That was the same time. They was ahead of the curve, which is ironic that it didn't activate because they had just as good of a record. They should have had Khalees on it. That was the problem. Didn't put the Khalees.
Yeah. The video is ridiculous. Fools were riding motorcycles downstairs.
Yeah, they was killing it. Man, they always were smart about, I feel like the Licks always were very smart and strategic at putting records together and did the right features, everything, man. And just sometimes it's just people don't get it. I mean, they even had a great name, the Licks, the Alcoholics. Not, I mean, you know, way worse names of people. You know, niggas' names be Drug Addict Willie and Overdose Danny and shit, and be Killer Tay. You know, I'm just saying, like, so, you know, some people would say, like, oh, that's a negative name, but everybody wants to get drunk and have a party, and like they had a great name. It's very interesting that it didn't quite activate to the next level where them niggas was like mega platinum. I always thought they was gonna just pop.
We need a Loud documentary. We really
there might have been some hate going on that because them niggas were supposed to blow up.
Man, the Loud, like, dude, Jeremy. So you had Loud, but nobody really talks about Loud. But dude, they had Pun, they had Exhibit, they had
wow.
Matter of fact, I'll tell you, I remember being at some show and Exhibit was there, and I asked him, I was like, dude, how are you doing a song with Pun? How are you doing a song with Snoop? And Exhibit was like, dude, Steve is just Steve Rifkin. He was the dude that owned it. He's like, dude, Steve's just on some other shit. He's like, dude, if you can work it out and if you can get the artist to work with you, I'm not tripping, and y'all just work it out and just, which was really a brilliant.
Oh wow,
a brilliant way of going about it, because Exhibit was with everybody, man. He really was doing songs, and it wasn't the bureaucracy of record labels stepping in and we need this much, we need that much. And man, he was able to capitalize on that, man. He was truly able to capitalize. Yep. So for you, Ras, being from LA culture, coming into the hip hop as far as the rapping late, how did it feel to get embraced by these dudes from New York, the Mecca?
Oh man, that was, you know, a blessing. That's all I ever really wanted once I took rhyming seriously was just, you know, I wanted a tape or a vinyl with my face on it and my voice on it to give to my mother, because I had a stupid idea to take this shit seriously, and she didn't, you know, she didn't like laugh me out of the house. So I felt like I wanted to tell her thank you. And then, you know, the only other thing I really genuinely wanted was, you know, Big Pun to say I was dope, and Rakim to say I was dope, and EPMD to say I was dope, and Guru to say I was dope, and you know, and on and on and on. And you know, that's what happened, which was crazy. Like Pop telling me I'm dope, and you know, and L and Pun, and you know, and Nas, and niggas like, yo, like I went from, you know, to oblivious to a student, obviously a fan. I'm still a fan of the music, of the culture, but I became a student of the craft, and then, you know, and fans of these people. And you know, the crazy thing was that I did want them to maybe say, hey kid, your shit is all right, because I had a lot of homies that said, you use big words, we don't know what the fuck you talking about. So I didn't know if I was good or not, to be perfectly honest. Just because my friends are kind of dumb. And so, you know, I just had to accept that. And it was a blessing, you know. I'm joking, but, you know, I just, you know, honestly, my friends don't listen to my shit. I get it. My friends like other shit. I make very, the world, LA don't listen to my shit. And that's fine. I understand, man. So honestly, I had to take Ice Cube shit literally, push rhymes like weight. Like my dope, they don't want to buy it here. They like escapism and crypty crip and whatever. And I'm selling truth, and I'm selling, you know, mental health and socio-political awareness and knowledge of self, and niggas don't really like buying that here. And so I had to go to a place that wanted some of that. And that was a blessing.
2002, 2003, 2004, you had us, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Oh yeah, the 90, yeah. You Midwest, man, the Midwest still, you know, a lot of I always feel like Midwest dudes and LA dudes have a lot in common, and LA and Brooklyn dudes have a lot in common. It's just LA be having his head up his ass so much because it wants to be Hollywood, when the beauty of LA is that it's LA and not Hollywood. and you know, that is really grounded, real people with that's down to earth. That's what LA is, you know, by LA or whatever your city is, like that's a subculture. And then, you know, but unfortunately a lot of times people turned Hollywood. But to answer your question, Schmooche, I'm sorry, but
because I was like, how'd you end up working with Dre?
So Kalani hooked me up with a producer that was like an under producer for DJ Quick. His name was Flip, Michael Barber, who actually is Brian Barber.
Flip, that's what the Flip was with Suave, used to manage Flip too.
Exactly.
Flip was down the side and all that.
Yep.
That's crazy.
So this was way before Suave even met me,
I know.
probably. Yeah, but you know, Flip wasn't really even my homie. We met, but he was from Inglewood families. He was a blood nigga, and I hung out with Crips, so we was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, what up, bro? But, you know, Kalani was always like, man, Flip is dope, Raz is dope, y'all niggas, you know, create a bond. And then Kalani died before I might have gotten my deal, and then Kalani died, and I went through a whole bunch of bad politics and, you know, bad deals. The deal was fucked up. The homie was trying to steal the money and all this shit. And about a year later, coming through, like Flip was always there, like to honor what Kalani wanted. So long story short, you know, Flip helped me finish my first album, Soul on Ice. And then right after Soul on Ice, he had introduced me to Mike Lynn and all of them. And so Poe Broken Lonely was this R&B group. They had a song called Twisted. When Dre left Death Row, he brought his friends that he grew up with, and that was Poe Broken Lonely. So Poe Broken Lonely was Chris the Glove, the DJ. They brought Chris over. This is before Aftermath was even called Aftermath. So this is 1997. Because, yeah, like middle of 1997, I get a call from Mike Lynn, who becomes his vice president. And then the other artist was Ruben, RC. And he brought RC in as an artist, as a singer. So that Poe Broken Lonely group was Dre's Neighborhood Homies. Mike Lynn called me one day, just on a fluke, like, what you doing? I was like, chilling. He's like, you wanna meet Dr. Dre? I'm like, fuck yeah, why wouldn't I? So We drove out to the valley and shit.
Hey, Raz, quick. I gotta paint a little picture. The 97, 98 Dre is not the Dre that we idolized. Right, that was after NWA. That was after he did the Death Row stuff and all that. So it was still a little. We weren't sure where Dre was at this time. He had done great things, but Raz is getting with him really on the ground level of something.
No, definitely.
Yeah, something.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like
this when he was semi-retired, huh? That's
no, it was
out.
just.
There's a lot
you got to remember, like basically Pac's still alive and Suge Dre gay ass. Now we out of the closet, like niggas on his helmet. Death Row is popping. Like Snoop then left. He's with Master P at this point, 97. And Dre basically has walked away from like $20 million from Suge. Suge won't give him his money. So it's just like he's just in limbo. But Lynn called me and I went up there and chopped it up. He started playing me records. I know for a fact. I remember he played me Phone Tap, and that shit was incredible. So he already had a plan. He had a squad. Okay. So I heard that. I was like, fuck. That shit crazy. Yeah. Like the shit that fucking, that shit in the studio, that shit is crazy. Like just the effects in the record is so big. So honestly, I was excited. When I went in, any second guessing I had totally changed once I fucking got in there and saw what he was doing. That nigga brought in a whole new squad of dope motherfuckers from all around the world. I think he had Rakim. He had like Special Ed.
At that time, I think it was Rakim. I want to say maybe Truth Hurts, but I remember
he didn't have her yet.
Okay.
When I came in, there's no Truth Hurts. You got if you look, just all you got to do is listen to the Aftermath EP, the album that came out. That was the first thing he ever dropped. He dropped the East Coast, West Coast song, and then they dropped the Aftermath album that people was talking shit about.
Like I've been there, I've done that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I heard he played me that, and the Phone Tap shit, but they were having problems getting all of Nas and Foxy and all of them to record. He had got them like a month in Miami, and then Foxy didn't show up and all kind of shit. So they was having a problem completing that album. And then he played me the whole Aftermath album, and it was fucking incredible. And then I went to the record store and listened to it because I had been telling people about it, and he changed everything, which was weird. And but that's Dre. Dre is a genius. That he's a genius, and he's super critical of himself, so he'll always second guess. And what he played me for the Aftermath album and what came out is night and day. The shit he played me was phenomenal. The shit that came out was like, and then he brought me in to write, and I was writing, and one day he asked me, what I was gonna do, and I was like, well, I think my girlfriend was pregnant, and no, she already had the kids. Teacher already had the kids. I think I said basically, I think my label's gonna pick up this option for the second album, and aside from that, I'm just working with my group. And he's like, "Who's your group?" I was like, "Exhibit and Sophia," and he's like, "Yo, could you get them here?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I called Exhibit, like, "Yo, you should come meet Dre." And then Sophia was in Oakland, and I called him. He's like, "Fuck yeah."
You was the plug for that? Exhibit didn't know Dre before you?
Fuck no, never in life.
What? Mm-mm. That's wild. I met Exhibit at Dre's house.
Yeah, now. No.
Like 20 years later.
Well,
that dude is so crazy because it's like when I think of Raz, I think of John, I think of Carson, I think of both of us being young in Hollywood, moving around the little clubs and all that. But it's amazing to me to hear dudes. And the crazy thing, it's more dudes on the East Coast than it is on the West Coast that are like, they'll say Ras Kass, and I see the eyes light up. I see the whole little thing go on. Like we got this guy who Brown is working with right now, and he's doing like some illustration work and whatnot. And when he saw that you were going to be on the show, he's like, "Fuck yeah!" He's like, "Yeah." He was like, and he's a hella hip hop head, but you wouldn't think that he would necessarily be a hip hop head. But he likes like the real, like he knows what the real is. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a well accomplished in his profession. He's like close to the top of his game. Like he's serious.
That's what's up.
What he does that has nothing to do with rapping. You know what
right.
I mean? I was like, damn, that's crazy. But it's amazing to me because when I look at you, I don't see that dude with the pen that's writing this stuff that's making everybody go that's making everybody go crazy. But one thing that I can say though is, regardless of when you were away, your hustle has always been the same because I always see you popping. I see you pop up in New York. I see you pop on social media. I haven't ran into you too many times. Well, we run into each other a little bit. But I see you in Miami. I see you in New York. I see you here. I see you there. I see you dealing with a primo and all this. Like, how do you, but you haven't been like hella on a major label like that. Like, how do you get in these circles? Like,
I would call it I call it boredom, man. Like I've had a very rough experience with major labels, with the label that I chose particularly. But my biggest blessing, you know, it's not a sad story. I'm just keeping it a buck. But my major blessing, man, is that the producers and artists hold me in esteem, and I you know, I'm a pretty, you know, like I got a great work ethic. I love what I do. I love the creative process. I really love writing records. I love to sit with people and just sit in the room, like you know, like the first time I sat with Dre, like I was either gonna get nervous and fumble on the one, or I was gonna step up to the challenge and get motivated. Like, nigga, you Dr. Dre, but I'm Ras Kass and I got bars, nigga. Fuck it, well, let's go. So you know, no disrespect, but on my like, let's bring this A game, let's get it done. I'm excited to do it. And I always kind of go into it that way, and it's been a blessing because artists and producers respect that about me. That I love what I do. I love the culture, and we gonna make some dope shit no matter what. We gonna work at it. We gonna throw it against the wall until it stick. Yeah, that's a quote from Dre. I stole that from him.
Who's your favorite producer to work with?
I don't have a favorite. You know, bucket list was obviously gonna be, you know, Dr. Dre and Premier. That was bucket list shit.
I was gonna ask, yo, Primo, man, like, yo, come on, man. That's my favorite producer all time.
Yeah, you know, it's. I'm, you know, they both serve two different purposes in my heart, but they're both amazing, man. It's crazy because I'm probably on my third or fourth, you know, rhyming over a Premier track, and it's always kind of surreal to me. Like, this nigga thinks I should rap on this piece. This is great. Love this. This is awesome. So yeah, man. You know, Preem is, you know, he's a big brother. You know, we you know, it's more family now, you know what I'm saying, than just, you know, a rapper and an MC. And, you know, I learned a lot from Dre, you know, that rapport. I would love, you know, just on the creative side, man, you know, we'll see what the future holds. I would love to get back in creatively and just see whether not necessarily for myself, just working on somebody's project and see, you know, what I could contribute to whatever Doc is doing. So, you know, but outside of them, man, I just like sitting with dope people. It don't even matter what their name is or who they are, because every time you get, I mean, it's literally science. You know, if you take one ingredient and mix it with you know, I could take water and I could take a lemon, and that turns into one thing. That's lemonade. But I'll take water and take a grape, turns into something else. So every time you get with somebody else, these are different ingredients. It's going to be something different than it would have been with the same fucking artist and producer. So I love mixing it up and adding other people to the mix to see, the goal is to try to pick the things that work the best together. Peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes niggas try to put the peanut butter with the tuna, and that ain't really good. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? So it's about just finding those ingredients.
He a foodie, he ain't like that.
Yeah, So it's about trying to find, finding these resources and these ingredients and trying to capture some magic, some lightning in the studio, and hopefully the world receiving it and fucking with it, man. Like to me, it's always a challenge. To a certain degree, you should be nervous. You should be like, like I like having the butterflies. Like, oh shit, man, can we make some dope shit? And you don't always bat at you don't bat 1,000. You gonna make some shit like, nah, that ain't it, and that's cool too.
How did you and the Horsemen come together? Because to me, that was like Slaughterhouse before, like
yeah, we were. We were Slaughterhouse before Slaughterhouse. Period. Yeah. I mean, but Royce and them will say that's not like blasphemy or disrespect. Nah, man. Wendy Day, who's she has something called Rap Coalition back in the day, and she
real quick, Raz.
Yeah.
Give the short story of who Wendy Day is, because she's like.
Yeah, she's well, you tell her. You already jumped in there. Go ahead. No, it's cool.
Wendy Day is somebody who Brown pointed out to me, and he's like, dude, she's in the mix. She knows everybody. She gets it popping, and that's who you can get with to get it popping. And that's how, I was introduced to what she does. But she's a mover and a shaker, man. Mover and a shaker, straight up.
Well, I'll expand on that for you. Wendy is she has Rap Coalition, and she's a lawyer. So what she did was, what she realizes once she became a fan of this art form, hip hop, she realized that a lot of artists got screwed. So she intervened legally for artists. Like, she helped the Locks get free from Puff. She helped Goody Mob get out of a bad deal. She helped UGK. She helped me. She helped Eminem. She would help artists intervene for artists' rights from the fucked up situations. And so I always just call her the angel of hip hop. Like it would be a little freckled Irish white chick, super freckled redhead Irish white chick. But I always tell niggas, like me and David Banner lived with her when David Banner lost his first deal. Like we lived on her couch. Yeah, bro. Like she's a writer. And the other thing that I always tell people, Wendy bust her gun. She had open carry in 1994. Like she was on airplanes with burner, bro. Like that white lady shoot you. She's gangster. Wow. So love her, but she fought for us. She fought for many of us, and a lot of people didn't give her credit. And she got cash money. They deal. She was a big part of that. She had to sue. That's where she got her bread from, was having to sue them. But at least she finally got her bread. But she helped so many of us. She's just the angel of hip hop. But to answer your question, she had this thing called Rap Olympics. And this one year it was gonna be like a team battles 4-on-4. So it was kind of cool. Like I think Redman had a team, and it would be Redman and Keith Murray and so on, and all these different MCs had teams. I had a team, and I was gonna put my friend who was kind of unknown at the time on. His name was Cannabis. So Corrupt called me, and he was like, "You should be on my team." And I was like, "Well, I'm building a team already." He was like, "Who's on your team?" And I was like, "Cannabis." And he was like, "Fuck that, then I'm on your team too." So he was like, it was already 3 of us, and then he was like, "What'd you think of Killer Priest?" I was like, "That nigga's ill." He was like, "All right, he's on our team. That's us 4." So we had the team, so we was ready. And then Eminem was up and coming, but M had a team too, so M was popping. And so what we wanted to do was body. We just felt like we had the team, especially back then. We just felt like we were gonna kill everybody. Not that all the other MCs ain't amazing, but we just felt like this is the team to beat. And all the other artists pulled out, all other signed artists. And then, we didn't want to do it because it wasn't for all the marbles. I wanted to battle everybody. I wanted to battle all the signed artists too, but all the signed artists pulled out, so we didn't do it. And I think that's the year M battled what's his name and lost yeah.
Dang, I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Dang.
The other homie. Yep.
With Kanye did the brand new song. Dang, I think his name. That sucks. I got you. Keep going.
Him. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it started. We started from maybe being in that battle. And that fell apart. So we were all hanging together probably for that weekend.
Rhyme
and
Fest.
We probably got in the studio. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I was there. We were still there for that, so I saw that battle.
What? So who would you say won?
It was so critically hard, to be perfectly honest. I can't remember who had. It was like the last round. Somebody didn't do as well, and the other person did better.
Politically correct, Raz. Politically correct.
No. I'm not.
I mean, this is
no. I already knew M, and I didn't know Rhyme Fest like that. So I was pulling for M, and I believed in him. But I think M had bodied the round before, and then that third round, like he body. They both body, but M kind of had pulled off on the first two, gunned down. And I think the third round, or maybe they was like, do it again, like this extra round or some shit like that. And that was the one where Rhyme Fest pulled it out, where it probably shouldn't have. It was something like that, where it shouldn't have went to this extra round. M should have took it, but they went to the extra round, and the nigga had one more in the chamber, and M maybe didn't have that one. That superb one in the chamber for that extra round or something like that. Because I remember feeling like you should have won, but niggas still feel like niggas still feel like you won. But at the end of the day, you kind of feeling defeated. But everybody know you kind of won. It's just that last round you didn't win that last round.
Look, we have to give it to Rhyme Fest because Eminem obviously won overall. But
No, I know Rhyme Fest now. He's dope, man. He's good.
Yeah, he need that.
No, he don't. Rhyme Fest right now. I mean, they friends now, right? He run Kanye shit again.
Yeah.
But with the rhyme battles and this is what I gotta say. This is what where I'm gonna give Dre his props, and people don't get it. What Dre is good at, he can take a battle rapper and teach them how to structure songs and make
of course.
Oh my God. Like Eminem, battle rapper, Kendrick Lamar, battle rapper. You got 50 Cent, battle rapper. He gets these dudes, man, and he gets the ridiculous production and he structures the songs, and that in itself is magic.
He's like the Quincy Jones dude. He ill, man. I watched him like fix records over the phone. The nigga's an ill nigga, bro.
Miss records over the phone. Wow.
Like turn that down, change the chord, whatever. Like nigga's ill. He's master at what he does, definitely.
Matter of fact, I can remember between Aftermath, Dre was getting paid to listen to albums and mix albums, whether it was pop tunes, whatever it was. I remember fools paying Dre, and you would pay him to go in and listen to your album and get that album right. And it wasn't just about hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It was man, we need the documentary, Raz, man. There's so much history that ain't even documented. People don't even know.
A lot, man.
Yeah.
They don't even know. But
culture.
I appreciate you, man, giving me the interview. I had to ride you though. You understand me?
Oh, it's all good, man. Trust me. It's all the truth, man. I'm not mad at the raisin shit.
Yeah,
I had a chance to cut it off, but nigga, I'm a Creole, nigga. This is my birthmark, like literally my people's sign and shit. So back day before I was Ras Kass, I was gonna get the surgery to cut it off, and I was like, Why? Like, that's like white people saying "fuck you, nigger," and I like try to bleach my skin, eat my dick. I'm cool. I'm gonna keep it as is. I love it. So
I'll tell you something colder than that. I know a girl who had a mole cut off, and guess what?
it grew back. Wow, that's ill.
I think it's 50. I think it's 50-50. I think it's 50-50.
Really?
Yeah. Like you can cut it off. It's 50% chance it'll come right back.
Mole.
God
made us the way He wants us to be, man.
Yeah, man. It's not like a horn or some shit. So I roll with it, man. I roll it. Yeah, and it's the raisin. When people call me raisin, like it brings fond memories to me. About my innocences of my youth and dancing and shit. And I was in shape, all kind of shit. I was like really in shape. I could like hold my body weight upside down and all that shit. Walk on my hands down the street. Shit, I need to get back to raisin.
I got a line. I got a line for you. Before we get out of here, I got a line for you. I want to know if you know who says this. I Ras Kass you, soul on ice, and body cast you.
Fuck. I know that.
Have you heard it before?
I feel like I have. I'm trying to think. Wait.
It's just my own personal fan. Does you know what I mean? It ain't like
that's. Wait. I know that.
I'm like a weird hip hop.
Is that Dirty Harriet?
Dirty Harry, who's that? No. Oh wait. Hold on, wait. No. That's not Dirty Harry.
Who is that?
That's Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. I knew it. You see, I was thinking Dirty Harriet. Yeah, fuck. Okay, I knew it. I was close. I'm sorry, Jean. I'm an asshole. Damn. Okay. Damn it. I was close.
Yeah, man. Yeah, she said that on one of Kweli's joints.
Exactly.
Like, what? I had to run it back. Like, what? That's hard.
I gotta go sample that. Oh, Jean. Shouts out to Jean Grey, man. She's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So last one, Raz. How has the Rona affected the hustle, man?
Oh man. Well, obviously it shut us all down. The touring, does not happen. Didn't happen. And we don't even know when. Some countries, especially now, with Trump here, like they don't like us, so we're banned from everywhere except for like two countries. But it fucked up my travel, but it actually allowed me to do a whole bunch of recording, and it challenged me creatively, just like content wise. So I got to kind of examine some of the holes in my shit, and honestly, like, no disrespect to verses and all them, but for a minute, the Rona exposed how lazy a lot of these major label artists are. They didn't do shit. They weren't doing shit. And then they just, they just had more money, and then they start biting other niggas platforms and shit that other niggas was doing. So for me, I realized I enjoyed the work, and I was creating content, consistently trying to do interesting things. I realized early on that Netflix was gonna play out. Niggas gonna watch all that shit in the first 2 months. So you're gonna want something, and why not check my channel out? Check out my music, and honestly, for a minute there, a lot of that shucking and driving shit, like when you're sitting at home, you can't really turn the trappy turn up shit because you by yourself. So that shit ain't even applicable. So it was kind of think time. So it was good, man. It allowed me to, possibly get my message across to a lot more people that wouldn't necessarily have the time or the energy to pay attention to what I was trying to serve them. So I felt like it was a blessing in disguise. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a misery loves company nigga. I was like, fuck, if I'm home, at least the rest of these niggas home too.
Hey.
I ain't gonna lie. Maybe that makes me a bad person, but I was like, fuck it, Drake home too, nigga. Fuck it. Everybody at home, nigga. I mean, granted, I'm sure he's important bitches from all over Earth, but I'm just saying, at least nobody got a bag. If I can't get a bag, I don't want nobody to get a bag.
It leveled the playing field, though.
Yes, it did.
Really, really. And the thing about it though, like, I was in Best Buy today and I was getting some stuff. As a matter of fact, I tried to do something. I tried to take it to the next level, Raz. I worked on a little something, trying to get a little streaming, little bench press up. And I was in Best Buy before I came here, and I was talking to the guy who helps me out with my cameras. I go to the same Best Buy. Homeboy's like, you know. So anyway, I was like, man, I got this camera, but maybe I should get another one. I was like, you got any cameras? He's like, nah, man, we've been sold out of cameras for like 4 months, 5 months. You know, you gotta get them online. He's like, anything streaming related, he's like, it's a wrap, man. He's like, we don't even carry it in store. Like, we have the little model that you can look at, that you can see what you can order online, and you're gonna have to wait. You know what I'm saying? But like, everybody wants to be a podcaster. Everybody wants to have their streaming platform. But I'll say for me, I've been working on this for a couple of years, and I'm still not dope. And I know I'm not dope, but at the same time, compared to those who just because they at home, they bored.
Last week, right? Last month.
Yeah, it ain't. You know, it's just like DJing. You can have the server in Vegas. You can have the realistic mixer. You can have the 1200s. You can even have the record. But if you're not dope, you know, it just is what it is.
Right.
So no, man, I want to thank you for tuning in. Real quick, Jeremy, you got anything you want to shout out? Anything you got going on?
You got anything going on? I'm chilling right now. I'm starting to gear back up though. Yeah, let me see. On Instagram is at Jeremy Comedy. So there's a show on YouTube that I'm a part of called Hypothetical Debate. That's right. It's like pretty much it's like barbershop talk. You know how two people like you know how people just argue just because they love arguing? You know what I'm saying? If you dig good enough, you'd be like, this person really don't care what they're talking about. They just argue just to argue. Pretty much the homie made a show full of that. So we have topics and he just tells us this is your topic. And pretty much you go back and forth on. So my episode haven't aired yet, but I think it airs in October. But yeah, it's fun. Like pretty much just as a sample, they gave me TLC. Like I had to bash TLC. I actually love TLC. But when he got to me, he goes, yeah, somebody was saying Destiny Child was whack, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yo, TLC stands for T-Boz can't sing, Left Eye can't rap, and Chili can't dance. Everybody was like, oh, damn. No. So, yeah, check that out.
You said
what?
I said, shame on you.
It's blasphemy, man. I love those girls, but T-Boz can't sing. But anyway, take a good look at, like, come on, really?
Wow.
Yeah, JeremyScipio.com. Yeah, that's it.
You, Raz, you got anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, man, I just dropped a single off this new vinyl playlist. So the song is called 5 Mics. That's 5 MIKES, like Jordan, Jackson, like that. So the video's out, and I just got the vinyl back for it. I call it a vinyl playlist. So, you know, it's available for pre-order. It's called I Ain't Clearing Shit. I'm not clearing shit. So it's an awesome vinyl with, you know, production from High Tech and Havoc from Mobb Deep and Large Professor and lots of rappers and stuff.
Mix, man, you stay in the mix.
You know, no, it's not like overly abundant with features, but it's some really cool features. Ice-T's on there. Ironically that you mentioned him, but I'm happy. Yeah, it'll be out. You can pre-order now. If you can find me on the gram. I'm at RAS_KASS. There's links to the video. There's links to the pre-order. So, you know, support the music, man. And aside from that, man, thanks for having me, man. Sorry, I was eating some rice and beans.
Hey, don't even trip. Matter of fact, real quick, last time I saw you, you were at Big Boy's Snoop thing, and I was Slink. Hey, man, I had Slink on, man. He got up and made a sandwich and came back. You know what I'm saying? So
you got to do it. He was high though. Of course he was high.
Yeah. So
Shouts out to Sleek. He got a new movie coming too called Dirty Cops. My homeboys got a part in it, so I'll be posting and supporting what they doing too. But man, thanks for having me, brother. I'm gonna get my monkey ass to smoking a cigarette.
Nah, don't even trip, man. We're gonna come back. We're gonna do some more, and I wanna give the homegirl Patty a shout out for her birthday, man. You know what I'm saying? She got a birthday today. And shoot, man, every day is a blessed day. But it's
yes, sir.
Birthday. So we got the happy birthday going on. So no, man, once again, man, good looking out, Raz, dude. I really appreciate it, man. You came through like a trooper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thank you, Schmooche. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks. No, honestly, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed myself too. And Jeremy, pleasure to meet you, Mississippi.
You too, man. Yo,
and I'm gonna put the two of you guys. I'm gonna put the two of you guys together too, because he's a talented comic, man. It's a cool.
Need the good skits and shit, the funny shit for the project. So
yeah, it's gearing back up. So yeah, I'm actually excited about some things I got coming. So I definitely like to have you out.
Yeah, brother. Anytime, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Salute.